Hello ladies and gentlemen, I'm making a Wildstar video sharing a little trick that I found. Well, it's the oldest trick in the book as far as making money in MMORPGs, but I'm going to share it nonetheless. The trick in question is making money off of crafting. Now everybody knows there are 1,000 ways to do this, but I'll share the one I use most these days. It is the Scouts Lithtech Advanced Hands made by Outfitters. Very early, I think it's a novice tier, yeah, that's what it is. So in the tech tree, you just have to unlock. It's the simplest things you'll ever do, basically, in the game. It's the first tier as far as I remember, unless I'm mistaken. Apprentice comes afterwards, or is it the other way around? No, I'm fairly sure. Yeah, I'm fairly sure Novice is the first one. So you pick the very cheapest recipe you can make in that tier, which is in this case Scouts Lithtech Advanced Hands. They cost 4 split leather per item, 1 Sparrow Seed Oil, which adds up to about 5 silver from the vendor, and 1 Quartz Power Core, which you will purchase from the commodities exchange. For instance, if I type in Quartz Power Core, you can find a bunch of them. It says here 20 silver-ish, but if you actually look, if you hover over the information button, it says here that there's a buyer, a top buyer thing. So what you can do is you can create a buy order. For instance, if you're interested in getting Quartz Power Cores, these guys here, let's assume you want rough Quartz Power Cores, which I do. So it says on the right, the seller, the lowest price you'll get is 18 silver. You're not interested in that. What you want to get is the 10 silver ones. And since I think I already have an order for this. I have a bunch of Quartz Power Core orders. Yeah, I do. I had a lot of those. So I'm gonna put more orders. More orders now. So what I'll do is I'd put in another 10 silver. Put in, I don't know, I'd like another 200, honestly. If I could get 200 more at 10 silver, I'll take them. So I'm gonna offer, 200 of them for 10 silver. I'm pretty much the highest bidder, I think, on those for the time being. And the reason I do this is because if you add up all the costs of materials, including what it costs for split leather on the auction house, which should be around 1.8-ish silver. It's 1.72 right now, so I'm gonna offer 1.75. Just to make sure that I get my full 200. It's gonna cost me 3.5 silver-ish, a little bit more than that. But the extra pennies that you pay for the listing fee are almost irrelevant. So let me just open my mail. Man, this is really annoying. This thing is really annoying. The mail system right now is completely nightmarish. So you pick up whatever materials you need for the specific craft that you're looking for. In my case, it's a very straightforward one. I'm looking to craft a bunch of Lithtech hands, which is very easy. It's one of the simplest recipes in the game. Let me just grab more leather. Alright, so is that open? Is that open yet? Yeah. So you have to browse through the mail. Bear with it. Bear with it. At least at the end, you can automatically close it all or delete them all. Oh my god. Alright, there we go. There we go. Let me pick up all that leather. Alright, so we have a bunch of new leather that we picked up, and we're gonna select all mail and then delete it all. There we go. All that is gone. So we already have, for the sake of this example, 96 Quartz Power Cores and about 4 times that amount of split leather. A little less than that, I think. I'm not entirely sure. Although, I think it's spot on. I'm not sure. Yeah, it looks like it's spot on. Alright, well, awesome. We have 484 split leather and 103 Power Seed Oil, which will allow us to make 100-ish Quartz Power Cores, which I will be making right now. You can feel free if you want. Where's the freaking... Oh, there it is. Alright, so we have to go to the crafting station, which is right here. Let's vendor to make sure that we have room for just about everything we want. I deposited a lot of stuff in my bank. So all we have in our inventory are Quartz Power Cores. I have 1 rough Sapphire Power Core for reference, because you can salvage Sapphire Power Cores from these guys here. I'm not sure if that's intended or not. But the good thing is these pair of gloves, specifically at least, give you Sapphire Power Cores. So we will be taking our sweet time crafting 93 of these items. I don't think we can fill up the entire inventory. If we do, it's going to be 2 times over. Yep. Alright, so what you'll be doing is salvaging these things, because there's a chance that... Oh, nice, I found a blue item. Once you craft enough items, you can actually sometimes score a blue one, if you get lucky enough, which can yield better materials when you salvage it. So the reason you want to salvage this is because, well, of course, you might think that when you salvage this guy, you get some split leather, but that's not the case. What you get, in fact, is thick leather, which is the tier above this. The tier above the split leather is thick leather. Some of you probably know this already, but I'm gonna let you know anyway. You can get a bunch of thick leather, which you can then use with Sapphire Power Cores to craft the next tier of gloves, which is, interestingly enough, which one is it? I'm not 100% sure which one it is. I need to look it up. Is in the Apprentice Outfitter, if I recall. In the hands, yep, those are the ones. The Pathfinder's Lithtech Advanced Gloves. So if you ever have enough Sapphire Power Cores, the same trick works here as well, where you can make a bunch of those hands and salvage them. The reason I want to salvage all of this is because yes, you do get thick leather. Yes, you do sometimes get signs of air, signs of earth, signs of life. You know, you get a bunch of those materials which are somewhat interesting, but not really. Most of them are kind of irrelevant. But what you really want to get are the rune fragments, of course. The rune fragments being one of the most sought after crafting materials at this moment, at least, as far as I'm aware. You want to get as many rune fragments as you can. They sell for about 5 gold each on the commodity exchange, which is, you know, it's not a whole ton of money, but for someone who's my level, I mean, I'm leveled, what, 23 right now? I'm not sure. I'm very low level. Yeah, 23, there we go. So I have, you know, 1 plat already, which is, you know, pretty low, but considering my level, it's not that terrible. Like, and I have about, you know, 70 gold worth of orders in the commodity exchange waiting. Plus, I have all the stuff that I have on me, which I know can yield about maybe another 50 to 60-ish gold. Although it sounds a little silly, it is a lot of gold that you can get from just salvaging a bunch of these gloves. And we're currently getting a bunch of blues, oddly enough. So I'm not sure if this has to do with the amount of gloves I've crafted, so I'm getting a better chance at blue items. But so far, so good. We have a lot of blue gloves. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blues, and those generally yield a bit better. So you don't even have to, you know, balance the crafting materials. Like sometimes people will pick up a core, you want to add, you know, more brutality, more moxie. You don't do that. You just craft anything that stumbles here. You click on the first thing that you can, because all you're doing is crafting for salvaging purposes. Keep in mind, since I purchased the quartz power cores at a premium price, which 10 silver is quite a lot for them, because most people do not offer nearly that. Each item I make costs me about 21-ish silver. Now, if you look at the vendor cost of each item, it is about 15 silver. So worst case scenario, you're gonna lose 6 silver per item. That's the worst case scenario if you were to vendor them, which is obviously not in your, in your best interest. Since we're making 96 of these lovely little gloves, we're looking at about, let me actually make sure I'm not getting this right. 21-ish silver per item is about, 20 gold, I guess. Almost 21 gold, 20 gold, 21 gold. So it's going to cost us about 21 gold investment, and we're going to see exactly how much we get back from that. And keep in mind, and I will repeat this, you can get sapphire power cores, which then allow you to craft more gloves. Okay, this is a big deal, because this is not the only time you'll get to craft. You'll be crafting 96 of these little guys there, or at least I will be, and then as soon as I get all my thick leather and more sapphire power cores from the salvaging, I can make the next tier of gloves and salvage those as well, and keep going for as long as they salvage into power cores. So out of 96 power cores, we'll see how many items or rune fragments we end up making, because I am sort of curious. Alright, so we have 1 rough sapphire power core in our inventory as far as I remember, so let's assume we have 1 sapphire power core, as opposed to assuming that we have more than that. It doesn't matter. I have some in the bank, but those are going to be irrelevant for the purpose of this video. You can probably skip ahead if you feel like this is a bit too long, which it is really. So almost done. What we're gonna do is we're gonna be looking at the page here. We have 2 thick leather already and 1 sapphire power core. We know that. I will not be calculating the amounts of signs I get. I don't think it's all that relevant. Those are fairly cheap on the commodities exchange, so I do not really care too much to look at them. So the first batch of salvaging is coming in. So let's look at that. You just, you open the little trade skill menu for those of you who do not know what this is, and you hit salvage. It's gonna salvage everything in your inventory in a row. See, as you saw here, I got 2 thick leather from this little. I wonder if I could put the thick leather in my inventory. I don't think so. All right, so I got 1 sapphire power core already. See, I got 1 sapphire power core, which I can use later. And I keep crafting like this, just salvage, and then until the inventory is empty, then I go for another round of crafting until everything is used up, the split leather that is. And we're gonna see how many rune fragments we get off of these items that we have. I don't think you ever get quartz power cores back from this crafting. As far as I know, you only get sapphire power cores and rune fragments and thick leather. If you were to only get thick leather, it wouldn't be worth it, generally speaking. Alright, so we're looking at 4 rune fragments already. Looking at 4 rune fragments. Alright, so this here is worth about 20 gold on the commodity exchange at the moment. So you're looking at 20 gold from rune fragments. We got 16 power cores, which we can make next level gloves with it, right? We can make the next tier of gloves. We got a greater sign of air as far as I've noticed. So, we're just gonna keep crafting the novice ones, of course, but eventually we'll be moving on to the next step. So we've crafted out of 96 only 44. So out of 44 items that cost about 20 silver each, which is about 8 gold in investment. We're getting 20 gold back from rune fragments, and quite a lot of these thick leather, enough materials to keep going and make next tier gloves for even more crafting stuff. So if you wish, you can skip ahead to another part, if that's not really relevant. All I'll be doing is keep crafting. So I've been doing that quite often since I discovered it. You know, I was level, I think 16 or so. I realized that making these gloves and salvaging them was actually not too bad as far as the yields went, and I thought that was kind of cool. When I discovered that you could get Sapphire Power cores from this low tier of gloves, I was very, very happy. I think it might be intended, considering it's like a crossroads item between novice and apprentice, whereas it's kind of stuck between the two trade skill tiers, and it might help you bump up, you know, when you're crafting as an outfitter, it might help you bump up the amount of thick leather you can gather. Because honestly, even as a survivalist, which I am, it's very, very impractical, I find, to find thick leather. I mean, purchasing it on the commodities exchange is still the fastest way to go about it, in my mind. There hasn't been any better way, as far as I've been aware, to make that happen. Now, I don't have an add-on to help me craft faster. I don't even know that one is out there yet for outfitters and armorers and all other non-architect cooking skills. I've seen cooking, and I've seen architect have an add-on that helps them speed up the crafting process. But I think as far as the ones that have to add manual stats every single time, it's not out there yet. I haven't seen that add-on crop up. So I'd be happy if there were one. I mean, that would simplify the process. I could just AFK out while I'm doing this. But instead, I'm forced to kind of click on every single item. Alright, many less blues this time around. We've got mostly greens, as far as I've noticed. I don't know if it has to do with the fact that I'm not picking the best match. You know what? I'm going to give it a shot. I'm not sure if that has to do with anything. Maybe crafting best match items generally yields more blues, I'm not sure. I doubt it, but you never know. It might have something to do with it. If I knew, you know, I might just discover something as we go along. So far, nothing. No blues. It keeps saying best match, but I'm not sure why. Maybe it has something to do with the fact that it's medium leather. I don't know. So as you can see here, you still see the salvage results. That I salvaged all the items earlier. They keep displaying here. You also get a bunch of nanotech parts. I didn't mention that, but those are worth about 5 silver each. So when you get one of those, it covers not 1 silver each. What am I talking about? Good lord, 57 copper each, unless I'm mistaken. And you can vendor those. They typically add up. You know, when you craft such a huge amount, sometimes they do add up to quite a. You might get like 2 gold-ish back from those items, which is not negligible. Getting 2 gold when you're investing 20 gold is like 10% back of your initial investment, and 10% of your initial investment is actually not too bad. I'm pretty sure there's a point where what I'm doing is not worth it, time-wise, for the amount of money you get off it. I mean, if you look at this, I've been going at this for about, what, 10 minutes-ish now. I've made 20 gold already. I mean, well, let's say 15 plus little, well, with the thick leather, yeah, it adds up to about 20 gold of profit for the 8 gold invested. It's not that bad. It's actually pretty good, but I'm not sure it's worth it for high-level players, of course. Like, this is pretty much, you know, you need your mount money, you need to buy commodities on the exchange very, very fast or something. There's an AMP you need right now. You can do this. Rune fragments tend to sell very fast, so you can get yourself a quick money flip fairly easily without too much effort. And I think that's kind of nice. It's a nice trick. I really want to share it because it's, you know, I've been making a little bit of gold off it, but it's not, I mean, it's not something I plan to do forever. It's just if people can benefit from this. Because the thing is, it's a win-win situation, considering, you know, the quartz power cores generally sell for very little to the vendor. They'll sell for about 3 silver each, not even that, I think 2 silver, maybe 50. So people who have quartz power cores, not sapphire ones, people who have quartz power cores and want to get rid of them, instead of vendoring them, can sell them to you for 10 silver and you're still flipping a profit. I used to buy those for 2 silver each on the commodities exchange. People were undervaluing them. I could probably get them for 5 silver each as well. I'm just offering 10 silver because I feel like this is a better deal for people. They don't feel they're getting ripped off. I don't feel like I'm getting ripped off. I feel like everyone is winning. I could cut corners to get more, but I'm not. Oh, alright, already another salvage batch. I don't feel like it's necessary. Alright, so let's look at this. We have 98 thick leather ready and 4 rune frags. We're going to keep an eye on that and keep going. Salvage time, baby. Yep, a lot of thick leather. You get on average about 2 to 3 pieces per item, 1 to 3 rather. I've gotten 9 once. It happened a few times, but it's very very rare. Typically it's 1 to 3. I think I just got 8 from one item. That was very unusual. But what you really want are the sapphire power cores. Those are really the ones you want most at the moment. So we're looking at a bunch of salvage materials. There we go. So we got ourselves a total of 32 sapphire power cores from this crafting, and we have 8 left over. And we got 5 more rune frags and 1 Elden rune frag, which is worth a little less, about 1.5 gold less. So 3.5 times, so we have 35 plus 3.5, 38 gold-ish right now. And we're not done. We have a little bit more to craft. I'm not sure how much. If I'm looking at the split leather, if it's any indicator, then we have quite a bit. But we're running out of quartz power cores at the moment. We're running on 6, and then it's going to be sapphire power core time. The same trick will apply, and the sapphire power cores items, they can disenchant themselves into sapphire power cores, so sometimes you can recycle the item into a new item and keep salvaging and getting rune frags from this, which I find kind of interesting. Yeah, I have way too many split leather, too much split leather, but that's no problem. No problem at all. Yeah, 484 divided by 96 is obviously not 4. What was I thinking? That's more like 121. Alright, so last salvage batch for those Scout Lithic Advanced Hands. Alright. No rune frags for these as far as I can tell. Yep. Still no rune frags. We have, well, yeah, I think we got 1. Right? Did we get 1? No. 9 times 5, we got 45 gold in rune frags plus 3.5 here. So we got 48.5 gold here, and we haven't crafted the next tier yet. We've got a full stack of thick leather, a bunch of fur-lined pelts, some thick bones worth about 10 silver each, which obviously is not the greatest thing in the world, but it's actually not too bad. So you can make whatever you want. I would probably go for the highest level items. In this case for me is the Pathfinder's Lithic Custom Hands, since I've leveled up a little bit. I can make custom items. They take a little bit longer to craft, since you can pick you have to pick 2 stats, but I think the yields are slightly better. Superstition, call it that if you want. I'm not sure if it's a green item or not, but the level is higher. It is level 18 as opposed to being level 15, so I'm going to take a chance and assume that the yields are by default a little better. It's going to take a little longer, but see, we can make sapphire power cores all the way through. So we're currently sitting at 9 times 5 gold, so we have 45 gold plus 3.5-ish, so about 50 gold here. The initial investment was about 20 gold, and that's, as I said, a premium price. I paid a hefty lot for those power cores. The quartz power cores can go for 5 silver each. Obviously, as long as there's someone like me putting them up for 10 silver, or asking or offering 10 silver, of course you're not gonna get them for that price. But you know, 5 silver is what you can probably get on most servers. My guess is that, since it hasn't gone up, I've been the one pushing the demand for those, since most people were not interested in acquiring them. Gonna buy some more power seed oil, 5 silver each, just to make more power cores. You can never have enough of those. So more power cores, let's do this. We have 30 sapphire power cores off this, so we could make 96 plus about, I didn't calculate how many do we have here. We got 8, and we got 8 plus the 29, so we got 37 more items. So out of 96, we recycled 37 more items, which is not negligible. It's about a third. You get a third of your quartz power cores transformed into sapphire power cores, which is, you know, it really adds up. You can make about, you know, 130 items off of 20-ish gold investment, which is pretty good considering the rune fragments and their value. I think they'll eventually go down or stabilize a little bit, although they could go up since more gold is getting infused into the economy. It's a possibility that the rune fragments just keep going up and up in price. I mean, they were about 3 gold-ish a few days ago, and I was still making a profit with this method, but at the moment it is... Oh, can I actually get a better item for myself? Let me just give it a shot. I'm going full support power. What have I got? I've got 18 insight on my gloves. Can I get more than 18 with this? Doesn't seem likely, honestly. Yeah. Doesn't seem very likely. Unless I sacrifice... Soothing Touch. Landing a critical heal also causes you to dispel a debuff from your ally. Yeah, I'm not going to ditch that. That's way too good of a stat. I cannot justify ditching that stat. It's a nice special item. Yeah, I don't know if it actually dispels stuns and whatnot, but it's actually kind of nice, so I won't ditch it. So as you can tell here, I would like to point that out as well, which is interesting. These gloves here, vendor for 23 silver each. It is a big deal because you could theoretically make a profit off of just vendoring the items themselves. Because you can probably get Sapphire Power Cores for about 10 silver each on the commodities exchange. If you offer 10 silver, I'm pretty sure you'll get them. Each spiral seed oil, which you're using in the process of crafting, costs 5 silver, 27 copper. Which in turn you can basically add up to about 15 silver, plus the thick leather, which goes for very, very cheap, about 1.5 silver each. So you could theoretically make these items for 20 silver each, and even if you weren't going to salvage them, you could vendor them for 3 silver profit a pop, which obviously is not a lot, but just to say that the profit margin, no matter what you do with these, is generally positive. It is generally a positive outcome for you. I'm actually curious to see if making tech items does anything different. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what best mat means. Does it mean cost less to add tech to the item? Oh yeah, that is most definitely it. I can add 20 tech and not run out of it. That is interesting. That is most definitely interesting. So the best match basically means it costs less charge to buff up the item. Alright. I should have realized that earlier, but I take my sweet damn time with this game. I've been exploring everywhere. I sense a soul in search of answers. Alright, we're almost done. And we should get some more Sapphire Power Cores from salvaging these ones. We have 7 more items to go. We can fill up our inventory. We're gonna look at how much thick leather we have right now. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what number we reach right now. We're still at 250. Okay, so we still have leftovers sitting in our inventory. Is that the case? Oh no, we're at 202. I was mistaken. What number does it show here? I can barely read it. 202, I think. Yep. All right. All right, never mind. So we can apparently we have much more items than I initially thought. Too much thick leather. This is incredible. Which items are getting consumed right now is what I'm wondering. Are they being taken from my bank? Because that doesn't make much sense. Where are the thick leathers coming from? Because I don't have them in my inventory and they're not getting drained from here. So allow me to be confused a little bit. Oh, I guess they're being taken from my bank directly. Alright, so we're getting salvage all these Sapphire Power Core items, see what we get. So we were sitting on 10 rune frags total. We got another Elden Rune, 1 more rune fragment, 1 more again. The thick leather you get, as you know, you get back is mostly irrelevant. Another rune fragment here. All right, and we get more Sapphire Power Cores. As you can see here, we're back to about 14-ish. It doesn't show here, but there you see it. 14 Sapphire Power Cores back, so we can keep crafting for another cycle. We're sitting on 13 rune frags. So that's pretty good gold, 52 gold just from those, plus another 7-ish from the Elden Runes. If you assume 5 gold, you're gonna get more than 52, of course, but I'm gonna assume 4 gold for the sake of being, you know, more accurate. Otherwise, we're looking at 65 gold. Yep, 65 gold out of 20 gold investment. Keep that in mind. You know, 20 gold investment was the initial, you know, cost of this, plus time, of course. You have to factor in time. If you get more money doing something else, the opportunity cost of crafting these things is obviously not worth it. I mean, you get no experience, you get no elder gems, you get no progress in the game, you get nothing done. Okay, that's all you're doing is crafting for gold purposes, which might be good, but if you want to progress your character, I'm pretty sure this is not the best way to go about it. This is mostly going to be necessary for you if, you know, you really want some early mount money that you don't have yet. That can always be kind of cool. So it's very limited. I feel like this is a very niche, I'm not sure, niche thing to do. But if you have time to kill, if an add-on comes out, can simplify the process, then this is probably worth doing. Alright. Yeah, we're looking at pretty good gold profit off of these little items. The crafting cycle just never ends. I'm not sure if this is possible for armorers or any other profession. I haven't looked into the crafts for other professions. I have no idea if that's even a thing they can do. Alright, we got a few more rune fragments. We are getting Sapphire Power Cores again. We're looking at 15 rune frags again. We can close this window, then reopen it, and make 7 more items. there's like a 50% chance of you getting a Sapphire Power Core back plus rune frags, which is, you know, it's a never-ending cycle of you getting rune fragments. If you need rune frags, you know, this might actually be a good way to do it. See, I've been thinking about the gold side of it, but I mean, it obviously adds up to the exact same thing, since getting rune frags or getting gold equals buying rune frags or getting the rune frags from the crafting. So if you do need rune fragments, or, you know, you don't have a way to make gold faster than this method gives you rune frags, then, you know, give it a shot. Give it a shot. We're also getting thick bones, which I think have a decent market value. I'm not 100% sure about that, but if I recall properly, there was a decent value for those. I recall those having a decent value. I think it was about, it could have been 20-ish silver each. I don't recall specifically. I'll have to look it up. Oh, we got a Sign of Life major. Not the greatest thing. Alright, we're looking at 16 rune frags now. Maybe if we're lucky we get another one. And yeah, we got an intricate rune frag. Alright, so 3 Elden rune fragments, 1 intricate, and 16 rune fragments, normal ones. And we're finally run out of cores, so let's go check how much it's worth. First of all, let's just vendor the items that we have. We have a bunch of nanotech bars that we can get rid of for about a few. See, we got about, you know, 2 gold from this, a little less than 2 gold. And we have a bunch of thick leather in our inventory, which also vendors to the see at the vendor value of this is about 4 silver each. The vendor value of thick leather is actually 4 silver each. You can sometimes get it very, very cheap on the commodity exchange. Let's go check how much it's going for right now. I'm actually curious. Let's type in thick leather. See, it's going for 3 silver 76, which is nonsensical, right? Because it vendors for more than that. So there's no point to you selling this to the minimum buyer. It's pointless. But you can set yourself up as the minimum buyer at like 5 silver if you want to make sure. And you can be, since you get thick leather from the split leather that costs absolutely nothing, right? You look at this little item there, the hands that we've been crafting, those cost you split leather, which costs about 2 silver max each, and you're always getting thick leather back, so you're always flipping a profit no matter what. It is very, very profitable. So let's create a sell order. If I use sell now, my profit per rune fragment goes down drastically. If I'm looking here at a rune fragment here, I can sell it now for, you know, 4 gold each, which I'm not interested in. I'd rather get the full 5 gold if I can. So I'm gonna go for the sell order. I'm gonna go for my rune fragments down here. I'm gonna create, you know, at 5 gold, I'm fine with 5 gold each. 16 of them, which is gonna be 80 gold back. Plus we have all the intricate rune fragments, which are worth even more, so we can sell that for about. I'm happy I got one, because usually you don't get those. I was kind of surprised I found one. So 684, 1 silver below competition instead of 1 copper. It doesn't really matter though. If you want to make, you know, the most profit, just undercut by 1 copper. See, I could go like 3 gold, 74, 99, and just put 3 of them up. That's 1 silver, 1 copper below the other guy. And there are also the thick bones, which have some kind of value. I'm not sure how much specifically. I remember they used, oh god, they went up in price. Somebody, oh wow, the buyers are purchasing them for 30 silver each, and apparently the market price seems to be something around like 1 gold each. Oh, there you go. We got even more profit off this. So another 11 gold here, 13 gold-ish. So you got, you know, we got about 100 gold from 20 gold profit and about 30 minutes work. I'm not sure how long this video lasted, but I don't know if that's worth your time. I have no idea if that's worth your time, but if it is, then consider doing this. And well, that's it. Noxious reporting out, I guess. Let's see if we bought anything more. Oh, we sold some rune fragments already. Alright, well that went fast. That went quickly. Already some rune fragments sold. And so yeah. Expect more videos like this if you're ever interested. Probably not about gold making, but you know, any other tips and tricks that I can share with you. So on this note, you guys have a nice one, and until next time, take care of yourselves, and may the fun, and the luck, and the gold be with you.